Day Ilham Aliyev. We met briefly just recently, but we did see each other in Beijing, and we spoke on the phone before that. I would like to begin our meeting with the most sensitive topic, the aviation tragedy that has occurred in our world. And even then, during our first telephone conversation, I not only apologize for the fact that this tragedy occurred in Russian airspace, but also offer my most sincere condolences to the families of those who died. I would like to repeat all this and say that we are, of course, as agreed, providing every assistance to the investigation. The investigation is coming to an end. Now we can talk generally about the causes of this tragedy. It was due to several factors. The first of which was the presence of a Ukrainian drone in the sky. We were tracking 3 drones that crossed the border of the Russian Federation at night on the day of the tragedy. The second reason is technical malfunctions in Russia's air defense system itself. The 2 missiles that were launched did not hit the aircraft directly. If they had, it would have crashed on the spot, but they exploded, perhaps as a self-destruction measure, a few meters away, about 10 meters or so. So the aircraft was most likely hit by debris rather than by projectiles. That is why the pilot interpreted it as a collision with a flock of birds, which he reported to Russian air traffic controllers, and all of this was recorded in the so-called black boxes. It was also suggested, and this is also clearly audible in the black boxes, to land in Makhachkala, but he decided to return to his home airport, and then to Kazakhstan. Nevertheless, the fact remains. I have now explained the reasons for the tragedy to you, all of which are in the documents after the thorough analysis of the technical characteristics of what happened and a second-by-second verification of the results of this so-called black box. We have also discussed this topic with you. Undoubtedly, the Russian side will do everything necessary in such tragic cases in terms of compensation. It will also give a legal assessment of the actions of all officials. Everyone's actions must remain in the public eye. Of course, words related to this tragedy, aimed at providing moral support to the family, do not solve the main problem in such cases. They cannot bring back to life those who have died in the tragedy. But our point, I repeat once again, and we agreed on this from the very beginning, is to give an objective assessment of everything that happened and identify the true causes. This takes a certain amount of time. It will take some more time to finally put an end to this. But in general, I have outlined to you what I was told on the eve of our meeting yesterday and the day before yesterday. To be honest, I even called Moscow last night to ask if there were any additional details. I have told you practically everything I know. That is the first part. The second part is that I would like to note that, despite this, our mutual interests in many areas coincide and are very close. First and foremost, of course, this concerns trade and economic ties. Despite all the nuances associated with this tragedy, which I have just mentioned, and certain issues that have arisen in connection with it, trade and economic ties have developed and continue to develop successfully. Last year, trade turnover increased by about 6%, and this year it has already exceeded 16%. This is a very good rate. Thanks to your attention to this issue, our humanitarian ties have always been at a high level, but we will talk more about this later. We are grateful to you for this, and we will, of course, do everything we can to maintain this momentum. Now, concerning the situation in the region, the situation in general on the international stage, our foreign ministries have always worked very closely with each other. I hope that this cooperation will not only be restored, but will continue in the spirit of our relations, in the spirit of our alliance. We never forget this. We remember the agreement that was signed so long ago, and for our part, we will do everything to implement all of its main provisions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude for this meeting. As you noted, we had a brief conversation in Beijing, and just 2 days ago I called you on the occasion of your birthday. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you once again and wish all the very best to you, your loved ones, and the friendly people of Russia. We are particularly grateful for the detailed information regarding the tragedy from last December, when an Azerbaijan Airlines plane crashed. We were in contact immediately. As you remember, on that tragic day, I was on a flight to a meeting in St. Petersburg. I was informed about it directly on the plane. I called you, and we expressed condolences to each other. I also asked you to convey to our colleagues, who were also present at this event, that I could not participate in the informal CIS summit due to objective reasons. I would also like to thank you for personally keeping this situation under control. We have exchanged opinions many times, and our team members are in constant contact. You are personally overseeing the investigation process. We had no doubt that it would be conducted objectively. Therefore, I want to express my gratitude once again for addressing this issue during our meeting. As you mentioned, not only our trade and economic relations but other areas as well have developed successfully this year. You noted the good dynamics in the growth of trade turnover. There has been no slowdown or regression in any other direction. On the contrary, the roadmaps we approved are being successfully implemented. Additionally, the Russian-Azerbaijani Intergovernmental Commission met relatively recently, where co-chairs discussed a wide range of issues in detail, not just trade and economic ones. Today is a good opportunity to go over the agenda once again. Our agenda is quite extensive and positive. Once again, thank you for this information, and I am confident that the messages we are sending to our societies today will be positively received.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.